Good morning. Happy Thursday. I am so glad that you are here. My name is Carol Ann White, and I would like to welcome you to this week's episode of When Life Needs a Detox, this Thursday, April 2nd, 2020. Um, I don't have any housekeeping details to go into. Um, I hope everybody is still staying at home. Hope everybody is trying to deal with the social distancing. It gets a little difficult sometimes. I get it. But please, if you do not have to be out, if you do not have to go shopping, if you don't have a doctor's appointment, physical therapy, if you have no real reason to be outside, please stay at home. Now, I do have a topic today that is going to upset some people. And at the end of the day, everybody's going to be all right. But today's topic for When Life Needs a Detox, rather this week's topic, is stop allowing your emotions to overshadow your intellect. Now, the reason I chose this particular topic is there has been so much information coming over Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, in my messenger inbox with all kinds of information on the coronavirus and other topics that I just felt compelled to write this because it's quite frankly, it's really working a nerve with me. It's striking a nerve. So here we go. I'm going to upset a lot of people with this, and quite frankly, I don't care. There are some people out there disseminating falsehoods, half truths, and blatant, flat out, bald faced lies about the coronavirus. This level of misinformation will be the cause of undue and unnecessary panic, frustration, and desperation. We will once again have massive runs on grocery stores, drugstores, and God knows what else. There could be mass hysteria leading to some violent situations. This is the most potentially toxic situation imaginable. There have been so many Facebook posts and messenger entries popping up with such ludicrous information that I had to start doing some fact checking. For most of the medical misinformation, I went to my friend Trinette Stanford, a retired nurse and nutrition expert. When I felt I had worn her out, I went to Snopes.com, Google, and Bing. They're search engines. Checking the validity of these facts takes less than 2 minutes, if that long. Here are a couple of misleading posts that I had to fact check for my peace of mind. Number one, please be advised, within 48 to 72 hours, the president will evoke what is called the Stafford Act. Just got off the phone with some of my military friends down in D.C. who had a 2-hour briefing. The president will order a 2-week mandatory quarantine for the nation. Stock up whatever you guys need to make sure you have a 2-week supply of everything. Please forward to your network. This statement was proved to be false. I went to Snopes.com. Now, here's the thing. The truth of the matter is, when Trump declared the national emergency on March 13th, he did so under the Stafford Act, a 1988 law that empowers the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, to respond to national catastrophes. That's what the Stafford Act does. I also discovered that the Stafford Act does not give the presidency authorization to declare martial law in any state, local, or tribal government. If you actually take the time to think about this, there isn't enough military for that type of an action anyway. There is not enough military. You could combine Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You don't have enough military to cover the entire United States. You don't. Let's face it, most cities don't have enough officers to cover the inhabitants of the city. Let me tell you something. I'm in Chicago. Chicago does not have enough officers to cover all of the inhabitants of this city. So I know there's not enough military to cover what they're talking about. Now, every state has something different. Now, every state, every city has something different. Mayor Lori Lightfoot has put in a social distancing as deeply as she possibly could, or as humanly possible. So it's going to be different. But there's nothing to say that the military is going to be at your front door telling you you can't go outside. No. Now, number two, this has to do with how to beat the coronavirus. Now, it says this is to inform us all that the pH for coronavirus varies from 5.5 to 8.5. It says what we need to do to beat the coronavirus, we need to take more of, I'm reading this, and we need to take on alkaline foods that are above pH levels of the virus. And they're doing this like lemons, limes, avocados, garlic, mango, tangerine, pineapple, orange. Now, they say this was taken from Dr. Palmer's text message. It is also false. And as far as I'm concerned, a half-truth is a falsehood. Now, it is true that foods with a high pH will boost your immunity, and that helps you to fight the virus. The pH level for the coronavirus is complete and total misinformation because there's no medical evidence as to what the pH level of the coronavirus is. There's nothing from the World Health Organization, the CDC, nada, nothing. So while they're right, taking in and ingesting foods that are high in pH will boost your immune system to help you fight the coronavirus. And I suggest you do that. Drink as much orange juice, lemon-infused water. That's going to help boost your immune system. But all of this about because of specific pH of the coronavirus, they don't know. That's a falsehood, and that makes it a lie. Now, my personal rule of thumb, when it comes to medical information, if it did not come from a reliable medical source, or you didn't bother to fact check it, don't spread it. All right, number 3. Certain combinations of antibiotics are working to cure the coronavirus. False. Now, look, y'all, it's a virus. Antibiotics are ineffective against viruses. We already know this because doctors do not prescribe antibiotics for the cold or the flu. They're viruses. Antibiotics did not work for MERS or SARS because they were viruses. The coronavirus cannot be cured by the use of antibiotics because it is a virus. Okay? Number 4. This is what it reads. This is a text from an NHS worker. As of tomorrow, do not leave home for bread for anything because the worst begins tomorrow as the incubation date is met and many people that are positive with the virus start to peak. It is at this time other people are most vulnerable, so it is very important to stay home and not be in contact with anybody, even members of your own family if possible. Yeah, right. Y'all in the same house. Being careful is very important and very crucial at this time. As of tomorrow, we are going to see the start of the peak of those that are positive, and then there will be 2 weeks of calm, and then 2 weeks where it decreases. What happened in Italy is that they neglected the contagion period, and that is why all the cases turned out together and so badly. Plus, they don't know what they're dealing with. And finally, please do not receive visits from anyone, not even from the same family. This is for the good of all. We will be in maximum stage of infection. Do not hold on to this message. Pass it on to your contacts. Now, the first thing I had to do was to find out what NHS stood for. I did not know. It is the National Health Service. It's a publicly funded healthcare system for England. I also fact-checked this, and there are layers to it. There are layers of truth. Because yes, there's an incubation period, and yes, it runs a 2-week lifespan. That's the virus's lifespan. It's 2 weeks. You know, Italy didn't catch their contagion in time. That's very true. However, I do have an issue with the validity of the statement because you can't verify the source. Additionally, we have been in social distancing lockdown for over 2 weeks. We have also seen coronavirus patients getting better. So, like I said, if you don't know the source or you're not going to take the time to fact check this information, do not post it and do not forward it. Now, here's one that I got in Messenger last night. Not anything to do with the coronavirus, but I just want to show you all how ridiculous this can get. Urgent, upside down question marks. Tonight at 12:30 to 3:30, make sure to turn off your phones, cellulars, and tablets and put them away from your body. Singapore television announced the news. Please tell your family and friends tonight at 12:30 to 3:30, our planet will be exposed to very high radiation from cosmic rays passing close to Earth. So please turn off your cell phones. Do not leave your device close to your body. It can cause you terrible damage. Check Google and NSA, BBC News. Send this message to all people who matter to you. Upside down question marks. Forward as received. This is from my sister that works for the government. Now, my first question to the sender was naturally, had she fact-checked this information? To which the answer was no. So I did. Now, not only was this cockamamie story false, it was 3 years old and false. No satellite under the Earth's protective atmosphere can be affected by cosmic rays. I timed my fact check on this. It took less than 60 seconds. Okay, y'all, listen. I get it. I do. I get it. I know I'm being harsh. I know I'm making fun of a lot of people and how they feel, but I do get it. These are scary times that we are currently living in. And to be quite honest, I'm scared too. But now is not the time to make this bad situation worse with toxic propaganda. If it shocks or scares you, believe me, it was written to elicit that response. Once you've read it, take a breath. Go to Snopes.com, Google, Bing, Firefox, or whatever search engine you use and look up the facts on the subject matter. It will relieve your feelings of fear, frustration, and desperation. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you do have a choice. You can do your due diligence and create a toxic free zone for yourself during this coronavirus pandemic, or you can allow total strangers the power to make you fearful, frustrated, desperate, and toxic. Make the right choice. Well, you guys, that is it for me. That's all I needed to say. This is a time where nobody knows the right thing to do. Now, let's go over what we know about the coronavirus. Number one, it's a virus. It has a lifespan of 2 weeks. You can limit its effects by washing your hands, disinfecting your areas, boosting your immune system with high pH foods. But right now, let's just be real. There's no cure. So far, there's no vaccine for the coronavirus. Antibiotics don't work on viruses. We're going to have to ride this out. We are. And we're going to have to do it the best way we know how, with the best information we can get. If you have information or someone has sent you information, before you forward it, check it. Because first of all, it's going to ease your mind as to whether or not it's true or if it has any validity. And this way, you're only passing on information that is useful and helpful, as opposed to insightful, or inciting is what I'm trying to say, inciting. You don't want to incite people. You don't want to make them fearful. Do we really want to see people fighting over toilet paper again? Do we want to see people tearing each other apart over food that, hey, it may not be what you want, but you can get food? Okay? Let's not make this very bad situation any worse by spreading misinformation or just flat out lies. Well, I have 2 people that joined me today. Hello, how are you? Please let me know what you think. You know, if ever I'm saying something that you agree with, that you like, disagree with, feel free to comment. It's a great thing. I appreciate you being here. But right now, I am ready to go because I have said all that I need to say. My name is Carol White, and I want to thank you for joining me for this week's episode of When Life Needs a Detox. I love you guys to the moon and back, and I'll be here next week. I've got some more things to talk about, and hopefully you'll feel the need to listen. I'll see you next week then. Bye-bye now.